Let's play this. Maybe it'll inspire us. Rush Limbaugh is, of course, trying to explain. Now, the far right, or the far right, the right, I mean, let's face it, the Republican base, very, very upset about the re-election of Speaker Bonaire. And of course, again, folks, we made the point here, there is no separate Tea Party of the Republican Party. There's one industry, there are two businesses in that industry. They know, just like Coke and Pepsi do, that this type of competition is good for business, right? You need both wings of this industry, both businesses in this industry to drive the fundraising. And so who would have Mark Levin have to rail upon at this point? I mean, the Democrats don't have the control. You have a lame duck president. The Republicans are in power. He's got to get that Heritage Fund money. He's got to get that Hillsdale College money. And so he goes on and on. He's got to sell his books. And so he goes on and on about, we're going to get rid of Speaker Bonaire. Now, everyone knew that Bonaire was going to withstand this challenge. But everybody was going through this kabuki, like Ted Yoho, who had actually gone and personally participated in a fundraiser to keep Speaker Boehner as the speaker in October of last year.
In fairness, that means he has a great defense of Steve Scalise, because according to that time frame, 12 years ago really is like literally lifetimes.
What's this? I mean,
I'm saying according to that logic, that's like, yeah, a month ago I thought he'd be a great speaker.
Right. So that's like 7 years
exactly. That's like
Republican
friggin' 8 years ago, man.
Right,
like,
right,
we
exactly.
did a lot of weird stuff a month ago in our lives.
Scalise was talking to the KKK in 2002. That's basically when Robert Byrd was in the audience.
You're telling me you talked to them this morning. First, I'd have to know what time it was, but then you might have a case.
Right.
Anything post yesterday, get out of my face.
Exactly. And so we know this is kabuki. So here is Rush Limbaugh speaking about how the Republicans are just falling in line with the Democrats, but somehow conflating. And he's talking about congressional Republicans. And when you fall in line with the president of the United States, who's a Democrat, what does that really mean? What's the essence? Well, it means that you're being somehow empathetic or sympathetic to black people. That's the reasoning Rush Limbaugh speaks of here.
48% of Republican voters want McConnell replaced. 60% want Boehner replaced. Most Republican voters, and don't forget what McConnell says. McConnell said that the main goal for the Republican Party in the new Senate is to not scare anybody. What do you think that means? That means throwing in with the Democrats.
Pause it.
That means not.
Well, I'll tell you what it also means. It means that Republican policies scare people. Normal people get scared by Republican policies. So what it means is, it may mean to Rush Limbaugh throwing in with the Democrats, but what it really means even before that is to hide the agenda that scary people like Rush Limbaugh propose to his scary, ignorant audience.
Opposing the Democrats, that's all that means. We don't want to be scary. We don't want to be seen as extremist kooks. Remember, all you have to do to be seen as an extremist kook is oppose Obama. Pure and simple. No matter how principled your opposition is, no matter how factual it is, it doesn't matter. It's easier to think, hands up, don't shoot, happened, than to try to tell people the truth that it didn't.
Pause it. Now, wait a second. I'm following up to the point where it is you are extremist kook if you go against Obama. Now, I would disagree with that, but whatever. That's within the realm of sanity. But how do you go from that analysis as to the way congressional leaders in the Republican Party are reacting towards the president to they're embracing the notion that Michael Brown, despite the fact that 16 out of 29 statements to the grand jury and the whole grand jury process seems to be falling apart now, said that he had his hands up, don't shoot. How is he going? I'm trying to think, how could that be tied in? There has to be some connection. Continue.
It's no more complicated than that. It's easier to fall in with Eric Garner was killed by a chokehold rather than died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital.
Now, pause it. Now, wait a second. Now, I know that the medical examiner of the New York City said that he died from a chokehold. But that's not the point. I'm used to Rush Limbaugh. What is it? I'm trying to think. Michael Brown, Eric Garner, they were both shot by police, or killed by police, I should say. They were both unarmed. Something else, too. Oh, they were both black. Oh, wait, and President Obama, oh, wait, is that what he's talking about?
Of a heart attack. It's just easier. It's just easier not to oppose these guys. It's just easier to throw in with them. And you get some goodies thrown back your way. Why people voted Republican in the last election. 81% said they voted to stop Obamacare. 81%. 75% said they voted Republican to stop amnesty for illegals. 71% say they voted Republican to stop all of Obama's agendas. Exactly what I thought. This poll has confirmed precisely how I read the election results. Stop Obama. That's what this vote was about. That's why the Republicans didn't run on an agenda, so it can't be said they were elected to do X, Y, and Z. Individual Republican candidates ran, particularly Senate candidates ran on opposing Obamacare, and they won big. But the Republican Party had a strategy, and that was to shut up and not say anything. And they still won. The only conclusion can be this election had a singular meaning. Stop what Obama's doing. But it's easier to throw in with Obama. His race, by the way, is a clear factor in this. Let's not kid ourselves. It's much easier to throw in with the first African-American president than to oppose him because you know what's going to come, even if you pay off Al Sharpton.
I have to say that I think, yes, for Limbaugh, race has a very big part of this. Indeed. We all know how easy it is for black people to skate by in this country, so we're just going to throw in with them.
It's like in Rush's mind, and I apologize in advance for not having my Star Wars references straight, but isn't there some Star Wars, was it the Jedi mind trick? Where like Republicans go and meet with Obama and are just like, here's what we need to do. We need tax cuts. And he's like, you don't need tax cuts. Eric Garner was murdered by the white supremacist police. And they go, we don't need tax cuts. I guess Eric Garner was murdered by the white supremacist police. I feel so bad for black people. You know, I think if we just give in, it'll be easier for all of us. You know, if you just give it to me, it'll be better for all of us. Asada Shakur is a hero. Asada Shakur is a hero. They just have meetings.
That is called the Jedi mind trick, Michael.
The Obama Jedi mind trick. Mm-hmm. You want socialized medicine, don't you? I think it would be better if we had socialized medicine.
Oh, that's great.
You would like your daughter to be a lesbian and get married at your home church.
I'd like my daughter to be a lesbian and get married at home church. President Obama, I wanted to ask you if you could officiate my lesbian daughter's wedding.
You want to convert to Islam and start attending a madrasa in Pakistan. All right, I'm having too much fun. Let's take that back. I'm just kidding.
All right, let's go to the...
I want to become a Muslim and study at a madrasa in Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum. Wallahu Akbar.